Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TARDIS Zone. This is the TARDIS Zone talk. So we have some Disney Plus news. It looks like Disney Plus has lost over 700,000 subscribers. That's the add to the million subscribers that they lost in the calendar year between 2023 and 2024. There does seem to be, this is one of the reasons why Disney decided to distribute Doctor Who and stuff, because their own brands are actually failing. Now, the Disney company itself was saved by obviously the movie Mona 2 and some of their other streaming services that they have. But Disney Plus itself is literally dead now at this stage. So I'll repeat, they lost 1 million subscribers during the 2023-2024 yearly thing that they do. And then they've lost now 700,000 subscribers in the last, since the price hike. So they're actually killing themselves, folks. You know, they're actually killing themselves. Now, why am I talking about this? Well, it does kind of relate to Doctor Who as well, because it's Disney Plus we're talking about, and Doctor Who is on Disney Plus. And Disney Plus is struggling, and it's been struggling for a few years now. And the reason why it's been struggling is because the Star Wars shows that they've been putting on their platform have been absolutely rubbish, and and the writers, producers, actors, actresses belong to those shows have bashed the fans, so people have tuned out. Right now, Disney decided that they were going to go fishing for other IPs to put on that platform because their own were literally failing. And one of those was obviously Doctor Who. Now, as we all know by now, no decision has been made on the commissioning of Series 3. There's no details or any news on a 2025 Christmas special. Russell T himself actually told us all in that Doctor Who magazine that nothing had been decided. So, you know, is this another reason why Disney Plus is taking their time on making a decision about Doctor Who? I mean, they've lost, as I said, between 2023 to 2024, Disney Plus lost 1 million subscribers. They've now lost another 700,000 subscribers in the first quarter of the fiscal year, they call it. So Disney Plus lost 700,000 subscribers over the final. Sorry, I was wrong there. Over the final 3 months of 2024, which is Walt Disney's company's first quarter of the fiscal year 2025. It's not counting Disney Plus Hotstar, the cheap Disney Plus service in India. Disney Plus now has 124.6 million subs, right? ESPN also lost 700,000 subs in that period as well. So all of the streaming apps actually seem to be doing bad. It's not just a Disney Plus problem, by the way. And I'm not coming on here just saying it is a Disney Plus problem, because it's not. But if you are Disney and the people behind Disney Plus, you're not rushing into any decisions in relation to Doctor Who. You're just not, right? You're just not. Because why would you throw some money at something if it's not performing well? And the people could spin all they want that this show has performed well and is doing great. It's not. It doesn't. I don't care what territories is actually doing great in, right? You will find that Doctor Who, if it's watched by people around the world, the wokest countries will obviously be popular in, won't they? Because they love all of that LGBTQ plus stuff in Doctor Who and the climate change nonsense and all the feminist crap, right? So there'll be certain countries that are woke that this show will probably do half decent in, right? But the main two markets, the UK and the British market and the US market, Doctor Who's not doing well, right? Simple as that. Okay, and it doesn't matter if it's doing well in Australia, New Zealand, or any of that, right? If it's not doing well in the US and it's not doing well in the UK, well, then you can't claim that this show is actually successful, and it's not successful, right? And if I were Disney Plus, I wouldn't be making a decision on Doctor Who yet. Why would you? You'd be mad to. You'd be mad to. You'd want to see how season 2 is received, right? Before you even make a decision, right? Now, they might make the decision before, right? They might make the decision the day season 2 drops. They could make it after the fact. We don't know. RTD has indicated, though, it will be when the series is upon us. So it's either before or after, but they'll probably wait till after. They'll probably even wait until the spin-off comes out to see if that's received well as well. Maybe make a determination then if they'll move forward then with this with Doctor Who. There's no way that you're putting your money where your mouth is in regards to Doctor Who if Disney Plus is losing subscribers like hotcakes, right? And you know, as I said, this narrative that the show has done very well, it hasn't done very well, and the fans need to wake up to that. And this is not me bashing it because I want to bash it. It's a fact of the matter. Doctor Who is crap right now, right? There's absolutely no excitement in the fandom, right? The BBC Doctor Who channel on YouTube has been trying its very best by putting up some videos of Doctor Who of the past and stuff like that. And you'd be lucky if you get a few hundred people watching, right? There is no excitement for Doctor Who at the moment. None whatsoever. The fandom is dead, right? If it wasn't for me and another fella, right, this fandom would be completely fucking dead and nobody'd have anything to fucking entertain themselves with. And by the way, that's a joke. But the fandom is dead. Now, before I get accused of lying and stuff about the 700,000 subscribers and all of this other stuff, I do have the article there and I will put it in the link description after this live stream so you can go and read it for yourselves. Obviously, there's other parts of Disney that are doing okay. As I said, that's what's basically keeping the company afloat right now. But Disney Plus itself is so. As I said, where is it now? Because they're at the telling us how many subscribers it has now. So yeah. So Mona 2 lifted all boats in Disney considers the first quarter of its fiscal year. So because of the movie Mona 2, right, Disney be in a worse place than what it's in right now if it hadn't been for that movie, because that movie actually did do well. And nobody will deny that. The odd time Disney will get it right. That's the thing. That's what's baffling here. They can get it right. Why they choose not to get it right all the time is beyond me. Why you'd want to lose subscribers, why you'd want to lose a shit ton of money, I've never understood that with this whole woke agenda that's been going on for the last 7, fucking 8, 9, whatever, how many fucking years. I've lost count now, right? It's all about, I thought that the film industry, the TV industry was all about making money, but this woke agenda has put shot to that, because I'm telling you now, when they look back in this, say, in 50 years' time, and you look at that period through TV and the movie industry, the people that, when we cop on, people will be like, why did they make those decisions? Why did they self-sabotage themselves every time? Because that's what they do. When they insert this woke agenda, they're self-sabotaging themselves. And I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah. I told people because I wasn't originally going to watch the Whittaker era, as you know. Um, but we ended up getting because we got rid of BBC. So I think it was for a lot. I think it was for Flux. I think I got Disney Plus. I didn't get it after that. We then ended the subscription, but then we were able to watch the 60 on Disney, but it was before you could when Disney brought in that fucking thing where you couldn't use people's passwords and all of that shit. Um, so I was able to watch. Actually, no, I wasn't because I watched them the day before. Didn't I? I watched the first episode on the night, and then I couldn't watch the other two, so I had to watch them after the fact. So we got rid of Disney Plus ages. I don't have me main stations here either. I don't have cable TV, if that's what you want to call it nowadays. I don't have BBC. I don't have RTE. So my head is not being fucking melted with all of this propaganda. Everything that I watch is on my PlayStation or is on my laptop. Simple as that. You won't see me watching any mainstream TV. I haven't watched the news in years. I don't know what goes on. I get my news on social media, like, or I read up on articles from, legit, what I believe are legit news sources. But I don't watch, I haven't watched a brand new TV show since Doctor Who. Like, that's the only new TV show I've watched is Doctor Who. It's the only thing I'm actually watching that's new right now. Well, actually, I'm watching From as well. It's a deadly little TV show. I'm watching that I am, but I have to catch up now because I think we're a season or two behind. We did watch the fourth season, and I think we start watching the second, but then both of us got sick, and we get distracted here quite a lot. So yeah, we recently start rewatching season one, so because we wanted to binge watch, but that's gone out the window again as well because we've been out and about doing stuff and all. I have a life. Uh, where is the proof that Disney Plus are losing uh so many subscribers? Well, I've literally just explained there just before you come in. I will put the article in the link description after this stream is over. But it's a quick, easy Google anyway. Okay, so if you go and Google it anyway while you're listening to me, you will see that I'm not actually lying. But 70, yeah, and they lost 1 million. They lost 1 million before that in 2023, the 2023 calendar year. They lost 1 million, right? 1.3 million altogether they did, right? 1.3 million, right? But look, the bottom line is this in relation to Doctor Who. This is why Disney are not going to make any decision. Disney Plus are not going to make any decision on Doctor Who just yet, right? Why would they back something if, you know, they're losing subscribers, right? They're not making as much money as they should be making, right? They're still making money. Nobody's denying that Disney is not making money, but they should be making. Listen, Disney is the biggest company in the world, right? It's got its fingers in fucking every fucking nearly every streaming service now at this rate, or it will at one. It will eventually, I guarantee it. They'll be the biggest fucking brand. Well, they are the biggest brand, but they will take over the whole fucking thing, right? Eventually, they're getting there, right? But the thing about it is Disney Plus and little parts like that. If they all start failing, this is the thing. Disney are gonna, and they've already done it before. They've sold off bits and pieces to keep themselves afloat. So they either need to start making hits themselves, right? Or the IPs that they're bringing in to substitute for their own shit IPs. Well, then those IPs have to improve as well. And can people in this chat honestly tell me that RTD is going to improve on his fourth season, right? So again, I will say it to you. This is why RTD has come out and said that no decision on Doctor Who Series 3 has been made yet, right? It hasn't been commissioned as of yet, right? The Christmas special 2025 was not commissioned and is not in the can. Okay? Why would they make any decision if the company is not doing as well as it should be? I would be a miser with my money if I were the people at Disney, because the bottom line is it's survival of the fittest on that app now, on that streaming platform. And that's the thing. You know, RTD has not only let Doctor Who fans down, but he's let Disney Plus down. Because I can guarantee you they were expecting a much better product than they received off him. They would have looked at his first era. Okay, you look at it now, it's aged badly in some parts. But the storytelling in that, right? Disney are probably looking at RTD and probably think they've landed on a fucking gold mine here. And because of his history with Doctor Who, they're probably saying, oh yeah, we're on to a winner here. And then he produced what he produced. And it hasn't been great. That 60th anniversary wasn't a 60th anniversary. That to me is the biggest fucking disgrace that this show has, that these people behind this show have done. Right? It shouldn't have been the David Tennant party. It was a 60th anniversary that should have celebrated 60 years of Doctor Who. And it didn't. It didn't. Don't get me wrong. I wanted Donna back. And I did want David Tennant back before all of his bullshit. Right? But where was the other doctors? You know what I mean? Where was Peter Capaldi? Where was fucking Matt Smith? If you didn't want to get Matt Smith, fine. Where's Peter Capaldi? Where's Christopher Eccleston? Paul McGann? You know, some of the old doctors even as well that are still around can walk around, for fuck's sake. Right? I guarantee you Disney were expecting a 60th anniversary, a proper celebration of all of Doctor Who, and they got those 3 specials. And by the way, there is one episode of the 3 specials I like. I don't know if it's Wild Blue Yonder or it's the one after that. I keep getting mixed up, but there is one of the specials that I actually do like that's actually decent, and the other 2 are average. There is a rumor Disney want RTD gone. Well, look, right, it's a rumor, but if the other fella is listening now, he's going to say I'm saying it's fact. Right, well, look, I think we've all heard that rumor, right? There's even been talk. I spoke about a couple of, actually, when was it? Could have been a couple of months ago. I'm not quite sure. But I did say that all of this Stephen Moffat stuff, Stephen Moffat appeared and wasn't, there was something behind that, right? And that's when I came out and said, well, I don't, you know, at first I was saying maybe we could take Stephen Moffat back. But I've come to the conclusion now that you can't. We can't take Stephen Moffat. We don't want RTD. The bottom line is they need to go back to basics. They need to strip this show back, right? And if it has to go back on a lower budget, I think that'll be a blessing in disguise, to be quite honest with you, because the writing will have to do the talking. Right? But I'm being honest with you, right? If I were Disney Plus and I wanted to move forward with this, and this is just my opinion, I would get rid of RTD and Bad Wolf Studios, to be quite honest with you, and everybody associated with RTD has to go. But you see, the thing about it is, it's not really up to Disney Plus. They are distributing the show, but I think the final decision on anything like that would still have to come from the BBC. So if that's the case, or the BBC and Disney would have to come up with, you know, an agreement that suits both of them. I don't know how it works in that regard, but if I were BBC myself, I would get rid of RTD. You know, BBC, look at BBC needs to take a risk now. Bringing RTD back, bringing Chris Chibnall in was not a risk. Making the Doctor female was not a risk, right? The risk is bringing someone in that's never written for the show before. understands sci-fi, right? Is a sci-fi writer. That's the risk. Going back to basics is the risk. You just try to make it this thing that it's not. Like give it its own universe and all of this shit. It's got a little universe that we're all happy with. Sarah Jane Adventures, whether it's Sarah Jane Adventures, whether it's Torchwood, whether it's Class. I know people have different opinions on all of those spin-offs, right? I don't care. There's a universe fucking there, like, do you know what I mean? It's already there. BBC managed to do it, like, you know? This is the thing that's baffling. You've managed to do it with the tight budgets that you've had. You've managed to get Torchwood out. You've managed to get Sarah Jane Adventures out. And whether people like that or not, you still managed to get Class out as well as Doctor Who. Like Doctor Who can look. If Disney Plus pull out, right, and I've always said this here anyway, and when we were speculating as well, Doctor Who could still continue without Disney Plus anyway. The BBC can go it. Look, it'll be difficult for BBC to go it alone. Absolutely, it would be. But they just have to cut the budget and be sensible about it. Go back to fucking basics and start writing decent stories with decent character development. We haven't had character development in Doctor Who and donkeys, right? We get lines here and there and new versions of Who and stuff. And it's forced, rammed down your throat. Oh, here's a trans character, accept them. You know, we saw Captain Jack a few times, didn't we? Throughout the era, if we're talking about LGBTQ plus characters, Jenny and Vastra as well, right? But we seen them throughout, and every time they came, they added to their character development. You don't see that now. I mean, he brings in Rose, makes a big deal about Rose Noble, right? She gets a bit to do in the Star. You get a bit to do in the Star Beast, and then Rose returns, and and it's just like you may as well be a statue. You may as well be a statue, right? It was like, I got a trans person on screen. That's good enough for me. I don't need to do any more character development now. Just leave it at that. Job done. And they wonder why Doctor Who is failing. They wonder why the whole industry as a whole is failing. Right? Nobody is asking that and difficult here as a fan. All we're asking is you goddamn respect what came before and you just do it fucking justice. And you don't give out the fans if they have a fucking problem. Right? Your job is supposed RTD's job as showrunner is supposed to listen to fans. You go and watch him on Instagram. He's acting like a petulant child telling people to fuck off. Like, I'm sorry that your ego doesn't allow for fans to criticize your work. Oh, we're sorry, Lord RTD. You will fucking listen to fan criticism. Because if you listen to it and you had to listen to fans from the very beginning, you wouldn't be in the fucking shitter that you're in now, just like Chibs. And here's the thing, no matter how much I fucking bash that man, Chibs, right? I wanted him to succeed. I kept saying it. I hope he does it this time. I hope he does it this time. And it was on fucking repeat. Matt Poss says, why alter the character of the Doctor? Though good point. And again, that's another big issue with Doctor Who fans. They've meddled around with the Doctor. They've meddled around with the history and the canon of the Doctor because now Joe Martin has been, inserted as the first fucking Doctor. And the Doctor Who account on X as well is starting to add Sacha Dhawan's photograph to fucking connecting stories and all of this other bollocks. So if anybody is under the illusion that RTD is going to, ignore the timeless child and all of this other nonsense, well, he's not. He's not. And if he continues, if he manages to survive this and Doctor Who manages to survive on Disney Plus, well, I only give it another season under RTD anyway, right? He'll get the 3 seasons and then it'll be done. I don't see it surviving if he continues to write the way he's writing. There's no way. There's no way that survives if he continues to do what he's doing and pushing the agenda that he's pushing. Absolutely no way that show goes past a third series if it does get commissioned. No way. You'd want to be fucking mental to put money into that, to be quite honest with you. I'm not messing. You'd want to be fucking absolutely crazy to pump money into that show right now. They can't even write a show, right, and develop characters without having some sort of fucking swipe at fans as well. And remember that as well. He creates characters like Chibs did, creates characters that are specifically designed to annoy the fandom, right? And I'm not talking about the little simps that lap every single second of it up. I'm talking about us, the real fans, right? Chibs did it quite a lot, right? Even RTD could be not RTD. Even Stephen Moffat could be petulant sometimes with fans, and he'd put the odd line in to piss us all off. But he'd make it up to us because he realised he was being a fucking child, right? And he'd make it up to us, and that's what I liked about Stephen Moffat at the time. But here's the problem with Stephen Moffat and RTD anyway, right? Forget about everything that I've just spoke about the last 28 minutes, right? Here is the real issue here, right? Forget about money, forget about all of the other stuff, right? This is the problem. RTD and Stephen Moffat, when it comes to Doctor Who, are burnt out. They're done. When they left originally, and they said that both of them were burnt out and they needed to do different projects and refresh them, so they were right. They were right. And unfortunately, the break hasn't done the two of them any good. They're still burnt out when it comes to Doctor Who. And that's the biggest issue that we have here now. They're not actually, here's the thing, even if they're wokeifying stories, right? Nobody could tell me that Stephen Moffat's two stories that he has written for Doctor Who are better than anything that he did for us when he was showrunner, right? And if you compare them to even the worst episodes that he did during his reign as Doctor Who showrunner, I don't think any of those two episodes that he's written live up to the hype, right? And you look at RTD. RTD's completely gone backwards with Doctor Who. You look at his fourth era. I mean, it's night and day. It's night and day. Both men had burned out, and both men needed to leave Doctor Who. And at the time, they made the right decisions when they left. They always say you should never come back. And in this case, it's the truth. The two of them should never have come back. The show should have been handed over to someone completely new, someone that wasn't connected to the Chibs era, wasn't connected to the Moffat era, wasn't connected to the RTD era. We needed a clean break. And there was a clean break there, and the BBC refused. He put his name forward. Michael Straczynski put his name forward to write for Doctor Who, and he was politely turned down by the BBC, right? So we had a chance to bring someone fucking in who knew sci-fi, but was never connected to Doctor Who in any way. And that would have been, look, we never know under Michael what way Doctor Who would have went. But would we be sitting here now talking about the possibility of Doctor Who not moving forward? I don't think so. I think we'd be sitting here probably excited for the future, if I'm quite honest with you. I never liked Blink. The Force Weeping Angel. But I think that's overrated. I think the two-parter, what was it? Flesh and Stone, and well, no, Flesh and Stone the second episode. I keep forgetting what the fourth episode is again. Named again. But that two-parter with the Weeping Angels there, right? That two-parter is the best Weeping Angels story. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody does name Blink, right? But it's not. Blink is a good story, right? And it is a good story. But the two-parter, the Weeping Angels two-parter with River in it, and Amy then, thinking that she's turned into stone, right? That two-parter is the best Weeping Angel story. The rest, after that, then he kind of made a bit of a joke of his own creation, the Weeping Angels. Moffat got weeping babies then. I'm glad the Babylon 5 reboot never happened, says Matt. But I will agree on that. Blink isn't the best Weeping Angels story. A lot of people will put that in their top 5, but in my opinion, the far superior story of the Weeping Angels, because you learn a bit more about the lore as well, is in that two-parter with the clerics. Do you remember? Deadly Man. And it's a creepy story as well. Because remember, the Weeping Angels actually kill Bob, isn't it? What's his name? Bob. So I have to watch that story again, actually. I'm gonna watch Matt Smith's era again, but I have to watch that Weeping Angel story again. But that's my favourite anyway. If people do think Blink is, look, who am I to argue? We all have personal taste. But for me personally, it's that two-parter. But look, the future of Doctor Who is going to be an interesting one, you know. And if it does move forward in some form, if Disney do pull out, it'll be very interesting to see what they do with it. Because I do believe if they continue with RTD anyway, or if they were to bring Stephen Moffat back. Look, if they did get rid of, if BBC got rid of RTD, right, brought back Stephen Moffat, forget about it. It's over. It's over. It's done. It's done. Stephen Moffat is burnt out. I don't think, look at, I genuinely feel when Stephen Moffat talks about Doctor Who that he still loves it, right? And I'll never knock him for that. He does genuinely love it. I think you can see it that he loves it. Even when he talks about he's very excited. When I see RTD talk about it though, I don't see the love there. I don't see the love there. I see a man that has an opportunity to push his agenda and he's taken it with both hands and he's made it very clear that he's using Doctor Who for an agenda. Right? So don't get me wrong, even though Moffat I still think has the passion for Doctor Who, and I say he would jump at the chance to be showrunner again, I don't think you would get the same caliber of stories that you got in his first era. You would see more of the same, and it'd look tired, and he himself would be tired. No, I don't want him to come back to Doctor Who. I'd rather remember Stephen Moffat's era the way it is. I don't want them to change. Listen, I've given Stephen Moffat stick over the years, right? I'm not happy with everything he done with Doctor Who during his reign, but he certainly gave us the most exciting uh, period and era of being a Doctor Who fan, in my opinion. So, I don't want that ruined, by him coming back like RTD has done. Because what it has done is a lot of people have said this to me as well. They said, "No, well, I can't watch any of RTD's old episodes now. He's kind of tainted them for me." And I'm like, that's what these people don't realize. That's the type of impact that it can have. Now, for me personally, look, when did I watch it? It was a few weeks back, but I watched The Unquiet Dead. I did, right? So I love that story, The Unquiet Dead. Um, Charles Dickens. Um, so I watched that now. It's aged badly, but you could tell how much love, care, and attention that RTD did put into it to compare it to now. And they're both burnt out. It's as simple as that. That's the biggest issue we have with Doctor Who. It's not being on Disney Plus or whatever. It's BBC not knowing what to do with it and keep taking the safe option and bringing in someone that they know that they think they can rely on. But these people are not up to the job anymore. And that's no disrespect to listen, Stephen Moffat could write a hit show about something else. And so could RTD, because we've seen it, it's happened, right? I've no doubt that those lads will continue to be successful writers somewhere else, but not with Doctor Who. Both of them have had their time on Doctor Who, and for their forced eras especially, I will thank them both for that. But don't try. It's like directors today. They try and relive past glories, and it never works. Look at Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott, for me, has to be one of the worst directors to ruin his legacy, because he's done sequels to movies that necessarily shouldn't have had fucking sequels. And he's actually went and ruined his own legacy with his shit sequels or his shit fucking prequel fucking movies. Like, he's an idiot. He actually is. Gladiator 2, right? We all watched Gladiator, right? I recently watched it again. I actually watched it on Gladiator. It's a weird film to pick for over the Christmas period, but I watched Gladiator over Christmas. And then I put Gladiator 2 on, and I got a half an hour in, and I knocked it off, right? And this is what Ridley Scott does, right? He just goes in and just ruins his own fucking legacy. Get away. Yeah, I didn't like Romulus. No. Romulus, to me, was a cheap rip-off of Alien. And that fucking stupid scene where they're floating and all of that. Me and Jack are supposed to be doing a review of it. I have to watch it again. But Alien Romulus is probably one of the worst fucking... And listen, we've got Resurrection, right? Alien Resurrection. I mean, everybody hates that movie, but I have a soft spot for that movie. Same with Alien 3, but I watched the director's cut of that one. But the first two movies you'll never surpass anyway. I mean, you'll never surpass those first two movies. But Romulus was a piece of fucking shit. And I can say that without any hesitation. I put it on being excited. Do you know what? I was actually excited for it. Because when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh my God, this feels like Alien. This might actually be good. Now, I watched it all the way through. And I just remember my reaction being right at the end. What the fuck did I just watch? Like, why are you doing fucking, what's that fucking, well, yeah, why you give me a Temu version of fucking Ripley? Why you give me a Temu version of fucking Alien? Fucking, oh, I swear, man. I swear I was raging. Because that, see, again, Ridley Scott, he stopped us from getting an Alien 5 movie with Ripley and all of the cast of the second fucking movie. Do you remember the director that did District 9, wasn't it? Fucking wanted to do his version, and he put up some of the sketches and all, and you were going to go back to Earth and all of that. It was going to be fucking deadly. And Ridley Scott, the jealous little bastard that he is now, I'm going to do my movies. And we got Prometheus, and then we got Alien, fucking Covenant, bastardizing the whole fucking franchise. God creates man. Man creates android. Android creates alien. You stupid. You see. Yes, him. I can't say he's Blomkamp. Neil Blomkamp. Yeah. He's a fucking deadly director. He has some YouTube short movies on YouTube. Sigourney Weaver is in one. The fucking deadly. He's a deadly director, man. He should have been, seriously. See, that's how you want. If you want to refresh a franchise, right? You bring him in. He would have finished off the Ripley story, and then he would have branched off from that then and done other Alien movies. And I can guarantee you they'd be better than that Ridley Scott has put out. And this fucker still won't give up. There's talks of other sequels. Like, leave it out, man. Leave it out. Your movies are shy. You passed it. You're finished. You're done. These directors, these showrunners, they don't know when their time is up, right? You're no good with Alien anymore. You made one fucking hit movie and you think you fucking are the James Cameron's movie as well is deadly. I would have loved him to come back. If you wanted to do a sequel to Alien, bring James Cameron back if you wanted a more action-based fucking one. I trust James Cameron over Ridley fucking Scott anyway, any day of the week now. A real super doctor thinks that Doctor Who will get cancelled. I'm not quite sure about that. I've never said that I think the show. I said the best thing that could happen is the show to get cancelled. But it could survive without Disney Plus. They could be, as I said, there's a rumor, and it's you know, even in the Doctor the article that we saw, they brought up the Disney Plus and the financial situation and stuff, and the rumor. They even spoke about the rumor that BBC were looking for another distributor. And if they don't get one, and even if they weren't to get one, it could still move on with BBC, but be a much lower budget. It'd go back to it, they wouldn't be able to afford even the budget that they gave under Chibs, right? So it'd be a lower budget, right? That doesn't mean that it wouldn't work. They'd have to concentrate more on the writing, but that's where they'll fuck up, you know, unless they get the right people in. It goes back to bringing the right people in. No matter what happens with the show's future, right? Say the show is secure, right? Moving forward with RTD is not going to make you successful, right? So the big changes need to happen anyway, right? Big changes need to happen. And even then, with the big changes, there are some fans that are even in this chat that will never watch another episode of Doctor Who again because of the way they've been treated. And you know what? I don't fucking blame them. I don't blame them. But what I would say to those people is don't let it ruin your enjoyment for the Doctor Who that you fell in love with, right? Whether it be classic or the two eras of RTD, the era of RTD and Moffat. If you still love them, right? Don't let those fuckers ruin it for you. Enjoy them, right? That's what I'm doing. For far too long, I let those fuckers ruin my enjoyment for Doctor Who. I'll watch classic and new Who now, not a bother. Right? The only area that I don't watch is Jodie Whittaker's, but you know yourself, up to Peter Capaldi, I'm fine. And the best thing about it is, you know, I've got all the DVDs anyway, but got them online as well. But I mean, best thing about it is you can skip the shit episodes and watch the ones that you want. You know what I mean? I still need to see Avatar 2. Again, though, you know, I get James Cameron. Look, I like James Cameron as a director, to be quite honest with you. I like most of his movies, I won't lie, but I never got the Avatar shite, to be quite honest with you. But he waited too long for a sequel to that movie, man, to be quite honest. When that movie was hot, even though I didn't get it, Avatar was everywhere in that first movie. I mean, it was groundbreaking. I won't deny that. It was absolutely groundbreaking. But they should have hit while the iron was hot with that fucking franchise. Waited way too long. I don't think the second movie was received as well as the first one. Now I could be wrong, but you got to hit you've got to hit while the iron is hot. Same with this Beat the Meat business. So we've seen photographs that the Beat the Meat plushie was actually in development, but they dragged their feet on it. They dragged their feet on it, and then the interest just went away. And as I said the other day, I won't be afraid to admit, I would have loved a Beat the Meat. I think anybody that knows about Beat the Meat, right? Even though I'm not a comic book fan, of course, as a Doctor Who fan, I know about the comics and stuff like that. Even those shitty fucking other comics that they did for Whittaker as well. Do you remember those comics for Whittaker? They were fucking. But I know there were branches. They branched out, especially the Daleks as well. Different Daleks and all the licensing issues and stuff like that. The Doctor Who history is fascinating, by the way, folks. Especially that there's loads of YouTube channels that do the history of the Daleks and stuff, right? And I don't mean in the terms of the TV show, just, but they talk about when they were used for promotion and stuff like that, and they were used for other things, ads and stuff like that. And there's been disputes. This is why, like, when the fourth series came back under RTD in 2005, right up until, they were finishing up, they were waiting to get permission to see if they could use the Daleks, because there was an issue, there was, right? And then of course you all know they ended up sorting it out, and then the Daleks had to appear fucking every and now I'm just kind of sick of Daleks. Well, Avatar 2 made 2.3 billion, so there goes my fucking narrative that it wasn't received well. But there you go, then it obviously was. But I don't remember it being as hyped. As I said, if I was wrong, correct me, and you have. So there you go. But I still think you waited too long. Listen, could you take? Well, would it make 2.3 billion if they had capitalized after the first movie? Probably would have made. I mean, would have made 3-4 billion. Do you know what? James Cameron, if he had done the sequel and then done the trilogy like he said he was going to do, he had done them all way back then, you'd be probably looking at a franchise that made over 10 to 12 billion dollars. If you think about it. If you obviously add for inflation as well. It's the highest grossing movie since the scandemic. Well, there you go. Well, had to be a James Cameron movie, didn't it? In fairness, though, he was the one that went and congratulated him and Steven Spielberg were the two that congratulated Tom Cruise after Maverick literally saved the whole industry. And that movie is deadly. I watched that movie again because I thought maybe we were all getting caught up in nostalgia and all of this, and they fooled us. Because you know the way, like, when people first saw The Force Awakens, and everybody originally was kind of like, oh yeah, this is actually not bad. JJ's done a great job. And it was only after people start watching it a second or third time and start thinking about it, they realised that this was a pile of fucking dog shit. For me, though, I will say this. Look, I don't like anything Disney's done except for Rogue One. But I will say this. I will watch The Force Awakens. I mean, there's some interesting things in it. And, kind of watching the movie, I was thinking, well, there's potential there. There's potential there, right? And that's why I think I was a bit lenient with The Force Awakens, and a lot of fans originally were, because they were saying, okay, it's a kind of a stepping stone. It's, it's got potential, but that potential went very fucking quick. Let's fucking just say that. And now, obviously, because let's look at BBC's Golden Goose used to be Doctor Who, or could be their Golden Goose, right? Disney's Golden Goose was Star Wars. That's why they invested so much money in buying it. And let's be honest, it's been a car crash. I've just watched Edge of Tomorrow. Oh, that's a great movie. Listen, that's one of my favorite Tom Cruise movies, I have to say. Now they have apparently now, I don't know if it's still going to happen because he's filming another movie now, but apparently there was talk after they wrapped up Mission Impossible that they were going to be, because Emily Blunt also spoke up as well of the hopes of a sequel. Again, though, I do think it's a bit long to be waiting on a sequel, but the thing about it is it has Tom Cruise in it, right? And Tom Cruise doesn't really make a bad movie, and he wouldn't come back and do a sequel if he didn't have input into it. So I know it's going to be, the sequel is going to be actually, it'll probably be on the same level, or it could be better, right? So that's why I'll give Edge of Tomorrow 2 a go if the sequel does ever get fucking made. I hope it does before fucking Tom Cruise ends up 80 years of age, but looking at Tom fucking Cruise, the age of him now, sure, he still looks like he fucking back in the day. Like, that man doesn't fucking age, man. And remember, he's probably one of the last kind of actors of that generation. If you think about it, you know, and he does his own stuff. Look, I admire anybody that does the stunts. You really are streaming at random times. Well, I'm only streaming because I have a stream with Irish nationalists tonight. Apparently, we're going to be talking entertainment as well. So, yeah, so I think that starts at 7, and she's out. So I kind of try to do my streams when she's not here, so I could spend more time with the missus, bringing the dog for a walk and doing the bits and pieces that we have to do. So, but I will be streaming again. As I said, it's not, as I've seen, I've been streaming fucking constantly now. So, there'll be more streams during the week. So if you are available and you are in other chats, I'll bring you on. I just wanted to talk about this Disney Plus thing. It bombed in 2014. It took time to collect the fan base. Well, I remember when it came out in 2014, and I was a fan then. So you know what, man, I don't actually get that. But some movies are like that. You are right. Like, there'll be good movies, decent movies, but just there'll be no hype around them. So it'll go under the radar. And then what normally happens then is someone will watch it and then they say, "Oh, watch this great movie with Tom Cruise, Edge of Tomorrow," you know. And then they'll watch it, and and then before you know it, then that's how cult classics are born. And to me, I would say it probably is a cult classic. If it never gets a sequel, it'll be a cult classic. But I don't know. Here's the thing that's puzzling. No, do you know what? I'm not going to say anymore, Matt. You go and watch that movie. I'm going to watch it again myself, right? Even though when you watched it a few weeks back, but I'm going to watch it again myself, right? And if you're up for it, you want to come on the panel there. If you want to come on and talk about, or we can even do a pre-record so we're not live, right? I'll just throw that out there. We can do a pre-record, right? And then I'll throw it up after the fact. And then if you want to be in the chat, I'll be in the chat as well while the live stream, while the pre-record is going, and then we can answer anybody's questions if you have any questions. We could do it that way if you want. But when you watch it, because it'd be very interesting to get your points of view on certain things. And I was nearly going to say something there, but I'm not going to ruin it. So I'm going to shut up because it is a good movie, and I wouldn't want to do anything to spoil it for you. But you will enjoy it. If you're a sci-fi fan, right, and you like Tom Cruise, and I am a fan of Emily Blunt as well. Look, I'm not a fan of everything she does, but she's done a few things that I like, right? But she's great in this movie as well. It's a good movie. It is a good movie. It's good, and there's Irish representation in it as well, because why not? Even though it doesn't make any fucking sense having an Irish man as a British fucking general, but that's all I'll say. Yeah, but it's fucking great movie. Great movie, I have to say. So yeah, go and watch it. Let me know then when you watch it, and then I'll watch it, and then we'll arrange the stream. I just need to refresh my memory again, even though I've seen it so many times. You know yourself, it's one of those movies as well. I'll just say, Matt, that you'll watch a few times and you'll pick something else up. It was like that movie that he did. I don't know if you've seen that other movie that he's done. It had Morgan Freeman in it, Oblivion. That's a great movie. There is Oblivion, and I love the soundtrack in that. I love the song in that. Actually, I've used the song on this channel a few times on a few of my music videos because it's a fucking deadly song. But Oblivion's another great movie, so you should check that out if you haven't seen that one either. Fascinating movie. Tom Cruise, Tom Cruise makes some look. He doesn't make. I'm not going to sit here and say I like every single movie because I don't. Right? I mean, he did an Irish one a few years back, and that was his younger career. And he's done a couple of other movies that I don't like, but the majority of his movies, I'd say 98% of his movies I love. I didn't like his remake of The Mummy. but that was kind of, wasn't that Universal? They kind of fucked that up anyway. That wasn't Tom Cruise that fucked that up, but he was good in it. You know what I mean? Like, even if Tom Cruise is in a dud of a movie, he's going to be good in it. Yeah, yeah. It was funny seeing him in the movie. Got to be honest, but I'm glad he was in the movie because I like I like Brendan Gleeson. I got to be honest with you. I do like Brendan Gleeson, and I actually watched him recently in I watched 28 Days Later again, and I'm sorry, I'm still gonna say I know people prefer 28 weeks later. But nah, man, that Force movie is just a fucking masterpiece. Christopher Eccleston in it as well. Uh, playing the mad lunatic fucking general or corporal, whatever the fuck he is, captain. Fucking he soldiers all randy. Great movie, man. Great movie. I see, but that's what I do, folks. That's what I said earlier. Do you know? I said earlier I don't watch any new stuff. The only new stuff that I've watched is, as I said, is From and Doctor Who. But other than that, even when it comes to movies, I haven't watched any new movies. The latest, well, I'd say it was the latest movie I watched was Oppenheimer. I finally watched Oppenheimer, and Christopher Nolan can't do any wrong. Got to be honest, so it was another cracker for Christopher Nolan. But what can I say? But I watched that. But that's it. That's it. And I don't know if I'll watch any of the new movies coming out this year. Like, I know Superman and all is coming out, and I'm a Superman fan. I love Superman, but I am not. I don't know what it is. I'm not enthusiastic at all. I mean, he's been putting out little teasers, right? So he put out one where Superman's flying, right? Superman does this spinny thing in the air, right, while he's flying. Okay, fair enough. It grand, right? But this is how pathetic the Superman fandom has gotten now. So on the Schneider side, you've got, oh, this is crap. This is childlike. This is stupid. Zack Snyder created cinematic. So Snyder is the GOAT. Then on the other side, you have the James Gunn supporters, and they're like, "Oh, this is golden age of cinema. This is the best shot you'll ever see in any Superman movie. It's great. It's gonna be whopper." Number one, both gobshites don't know if this movie is going to be good or bad. Number two, as a fan of the Zack Snyder movies, right? And I'll say that, right? Man of Steel I liked, but all the other movies, and I'm just being honest here, this is my opinion, were average, in my opinion. They were average, right? Yes, they looked visually beautiful and sexy and great, okay? But that doesn't mean that it's a great movie because it looks visually great. I'm sorry, okay? But the James Gunn fans, listen, you have nothing to scream and shout about either, right? If you think that flippy little thing that he does when he's flying is great and his hair's moving when he's flying is great and you think that's the golden age of cinema, then you're an absolute dope, right? You're a dope. These are both sets of fans. These are both tick. The Schneider fans and the Gunn fans, right? The bottom line is, from what I've seen, the only thing that I'm excited about is crypto, right? The rest looks mediocre to me, right? And I'm not comparing it to what Zack Snyder did. I just don't like the tone of this movie, right? Just like when he did the Suicide Squad and it was more comic booky than we're used to. They call these comic book movies, but let's be honest, they haven't been really, they've been based off comic books, but they've made the movies and they've changed the costumes or whatever, the suit for the television. You know, they don't look as stupid as they do in the comic books, and blah, blah, blah. But that's what Gunn is trying to do. And yes, the comic book fans will fucking love that. And they'll be having orgasms loving that, right? But I think people forget, right? I'm a fan of Superman, not because of the comics. I'm a fan of Superman because of the George Reeves TV show, right? Because of the Christopher Reeves Superman and because of the Henry Cavill Superman, right? I have zero interest in comics, right? And the majority of fans out there that support Superman don't give a shit about the comics either. Right? Comics are a specialized fucking thing for people out there that like reading that stuff. And I'm not knocking comics, by the way. If you can get into comics, that's absolutely fantastic. I could never get into comics. But this is the problem with Superman. This is going to be the issue with Superman, right? It's going to be too comic booky, and I don't think it's going to translate well on screen. Not for a live action, big budget fucking movie. You do that shit animation. So I don't have high hopes because I was the only one. Listen, kind of annoyed me when everybody was praising James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I mean, they literally had a guy in it called the polka dot fella. Every male in it was a weak, pathetic man, and yet everybody that was apparently against weak, pathetic men were defending that movie. Peter Capaldi was wasted in that movie. But again, the movie itself was shit as a whole because when I saw that big star come out in the fucking thing right at the end, I was like, no, fuck off. What are you doing? Get the fuck. Right? That's not what I want to watch. Right? And as I said, the majority of the fandom don't watch or don't read comic books. I'm sorry, right? Might hurt some people's feelings out there, but it's the truth. Right? They've grown up with Superman, either the TV shows or the movies, or both, right? Not by reading comics. So that's what I think James got. Look at some people praised him because he is doing it differently. He's trying to be more comic book accurate. Look, it might work, right? But for me, that's the biggest put off right now. Now he could prove me wrong, right? He could prove me wrong. But looking at how the Suicide Squad was received, and then it kind of went flat after that movie came out. Everybody was praising it, but then everybody quickly forgot it. I think this is what's going to happen with Superman. And a lot of fans out there are still sore that Henry Cavill isn't Superman either. So that's going to have an impact on whether fans on James Gunn's side like it or not. Right? It's a fact. It's going to have an impact. But it's not fair it's not fair, and I will say this, it's not fair for the Schneider fans to be having a go at the new Superman actor. It's not his fault. He didn't sack Henry Cavill. Right? So this guy has to be given a chance because he's been given the role. And again, I don't have any feelings towards the guy that's playing Superman. I mean, he has the look. So we'll see. But again, he looks too pretty. He looks like too Twilight-y to me. He looks like an actor that could be in those Twilight movies. He's got that kind of thing. He doesn't have a rugged look. Do you know what I mean? Like I expect Superman to have. He looks too. I gotta get. Some people will start laughing when I say this. Some people will be offended, but I don't care. But he looks too girly to me to be Superman. He just looks like one of those that you don't want to be punching in the face sort of thing. You know, like the Twilight actors and all, with all the makeup and the white face. Do you know what I mean? That's what he looks like to me. But again, that's not slagging him off on his acting ability because I haven't seen him. So I've only seen the stuff that we've all seen, right? Where Superman falls to the ground or gets punched to the ground, whatever fucking happened to him to end up on the ground with blood coming out of his mouth. That's going to be very interesting to explain. And then to see the image of Krypto kind of moving Superman. See, this is something the movie fans and the TV fans they haven't seen. You guys have probably seen it in the comics. That's good and well and good for you as well. Done, congratulations. But this is going to look stupid to us. Krypto, get the Superman cloak and all on him. I have to say, Krypto looked cute, right? But I don't watch Superman to say, oh, that looked cute, right? I want to be inspired by Superman, right? so far, I have to say James Gunn hasn't inspired me with his Superman, but he could change my mind. But again, I'm kind of, that man has a bit of a dodgy past. He put up some inappropriate tweets, and I know people say he apologized and all of that, but they were still inappropriate, and they were talking about children. So I still don't get why people are just quick enough to defend James Gunn and jump on the James Gunn bandwagon. Other people be punished while were punished for less. And I just want to remind you that Gina Carano basically doesn't have a career in the industry because she put up a fucking post on X, like, right? Not talking about all the shit that was going on in the world at the time, and she spoke up. Because she spoke up apparently on the wrong side of the coin, she got cancelled, right? And there's him putting out inappropriate fucking tweets, and he doesn't get cancelled. And by the way, I'm not for cancel culture. Nobody should be cancelled, in my opinion. Like, James Gunn apologized, fine. I wouldn't accept his apology personally if you've seen the content of the tweets, right? I probably wouldn't want them anywhere near my movie, but you know, and here's the thing: only certain people, even when this Me Too era, certain people were taken down, but certain people got away with it too because they apologized and all. Because it wasn't as serious as other stuff, but they were able to apologize and move on, right? Gina Carano, right, wouldn't apologize, right? And obviously, we've seen what's happened now. By the way, though, she is going down the legal avenue, and I did see that the judge granted her permission to. Well, I don't know what it was, but she's moving forward anyway. So she's going to sue the fuck out of Disney, and I hope she wins because once she wins, then that's it. Disney are fucked. They're fucked anyway, right? Because Trump is in the White House, right? Because he's making sure that all of this wokeism is finished now, right? Finished. You've got to hire based off talent now. And if you don't hire based off talent, there's going to be repercussions. Simple as that, right? And there'll just be sadly consequences for innocent people out there, as well as we have seen over the years. The bottom line is, I've always said this. Even during the Jodie Whittaker era, you had your woman Beth, who's been speaking up again because she's disappointed about an article that some journalist put out. In fairness, I have to say I kind of agree with her because this journalist is attacking Doctor Who fans and attacking the showrunner in relation to saying that they both need to grow up and, basically saying that Doctor Who is kind of lowbrow entertainment and all of this other stuff. But this is the woman that asked for more female representation in Doctor Who and on Big Finish. And as you all know what happened Big Finish. And you all know what happened Jodie Whittaker, right? So this is what happens when you don't hire based off. And there's a lot of talentless hacks in our fandom as well that the showrunner and others give privilege to, right? And they're only given that privilege because they might fall under a certain category, right? They're not given it based off talent, right? Even the writers that RTD has brought in for season 2, he's not bringing Juno Dawson in based off talent because we all know what Juno is capable of. Anybody that's had listened to Redacted, right, knows exactly what Juno Dawson's all about. Forget about the books for a minute, right? The books are nothing, but what they've done actually as a writer in Doctor Who or in the franchise is absolutely fucking ridiculous, right? So the only reason why RTD brought Juno Dawson in, and I don't care if I get criticised for this, but it's the truth, Juno Dawson was brought in because Juno Dawson is trans, right? He brought in the other writer because the other writer is an activist as well. Pete McTeague is an activist as well, okay? But I wouldn't be judging Pete McTeague too harshly because, in fairness, his classic fucking trailers for Doctor Who, and nobody can actually deny it, for the box sets have been brilliant, right? So if he could keep away from all of that agenda, I think Pete McTeague could be okay. But again, he's wrapped up in the RTD and Chris Chibnall era, so you know he's going to go along with what those guys want. So all of the writers that have been selected for Series 2 of Doctor Who are all activists. And then you've got the showrunner who's an activist, and then he's brought in casts that are also activists, right? And brought in for a certain specific job as well. This is why this whole thing, see, this amazes me. Years ago, when we were growing up, you would hear, we always want to get the best person for the job. In 2025, oh no, we don't have to get the best person in the job. We'll pick that person because they have pink hair. Or we'll pick this person because they're a big fatty. Or we'll pick this person because they're on Ozempic and they look like Skeletor's wife. Right? It's like, this is how bad the world's gone. There's this thing over in America, it's like Uber, the Uber, isn't it the Uber, right? Or whatever it's called, where random people pick up people and bring them to their destination, right? So it's called Lyft or something, right? So this driver went to pick up the passenger, turned out to be a big 300-stone woman or something. And because he refused to take her in a car, she's now decided to sue. Right? Now, the kicker on top of that as well is she's a black woman. So you know which way this is probably going to go, right? Probably going to win her case, even though she's too big to get into the car in the first place. But that's the victimhood mentality that we have put out there and we have accepted in society, right? She should be told to go and fuck herself and go on a weight loss program. That's what should really fucking happen. Yeah? Not fucking being fucking paraded around as if she's some sort of fucking victim. Right? You'd need an articulated fucking lorry to take her where she fucking wanted to go. Right? And I'm not going to make any apologies for that, by the way. I'm not making zero apologies for that. This is the victimhood mentality that we've created in society. And until people fucking cop onto themselves, right, this is going to continue, right? She doesn't deserve a fucking penny, and she's a rapper, by the way. So she has a few quid, right? She's a rapper, like. I've never heard her fucking rap. I don't know whether she's good or not. She could be shit for all I care. She could be the best fucking rapper of our generation. But imagine being that fucking petty, right? And being that fucking selfish that you're going to sue someone else because you won't look after yourself. And by the way, anybody that does have a medical condition, I understand fully. And to be quite honest with you, you know, there should be allowances made to people that have medical conditions, okay? Nobody is denying that, right? But when people get themselves in that state and then they play the victim, and then they talk about airplanes not giving them 2 seats and all of this bollocks, fuck off. Get out of the fucking town. I wish I could do that. I wish I could just fucking go out there now and start moaning and bitching about how my rights not been, I'm a victim, right? They fucking laugh at me. They laugh at me, and why? Because the colour of my skin, and why? Because I can't be a victim. But if you're any other skin colour, you can be. Do you get me? That's what goes on in the world today. Fucking Jesus Christ, man. So yeah, it's just, as I said, you know, the world's just gone crazy. People are just buying all of this bullshit every time. I mean, if I were that driver, I'd be suing her. I'd be suing her for stupidity, right? Get the fuck suing me. The fucking boat. That's why I eat healthy now. I'm not saying I've cut out meat. You don't have to cut out meat, chicken, and all of that other stuff, but I've cut out all the processed shit, you know. Uh, Now, when I treat myself to a donut or something, I haven't ate 20 or 30 donuts in the week. It'd probably be a donut once in the blue moon. You know what I mean? As a little treat for being being good for the whole month or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But balanced diet is all you ever needed. All of these diets and all of these fads is bullshit. Like, a balanced fucking diet. That's it. It's all you've ever needed. All of these superfoods and all they talk about is bullshit, by the way. Just eat your food the way you eat your food. If you like butter, have your butter as well. All of this bullshit about butter being bad for you and milk being bad for you and all this other shit that told us that were bad for us, right? It's bullshit. Everything in moderation, right? You do everything in moderation, just like when you drink an alcohol, right? I know people out there that binge drink, right? You do more damage in the long run there, but if you drink in moderation, you're fine. Same with food. It's the same with anything. Everything in moderation, except for illegal drugs, of course. Don't do illegal drugs. Because even in moderation, that shit's dangerous. Anyway, what I'll do is when I'm doing that stream tonight with the Irish nationalist, apparently we're talking about entertainment. The wokeness of the world, entertainment as well, is going to be brought into it, so I'm told. But when I do that stream, I'll put it up on the community wall. So if you want to then go and listen in, I've never been on this channel before. I don't even know if it's a YouTube channel or they do the streams on X. I'll find out later on. Apparently, I'm getting a link. So, but join me for that because that'll be an interesting one. Because I'll be talking to a fellow Irishman. So yeah, and that's the thing, a lot of nationalists in the movement are realizing that the entertainment industry, the music industry, and what's happening around the world, it's all connected. It's all connected. And, a lot of people have had their eyes opened up to all of this. So he's obviously bringing me on because he knows I stream about Doctor Who and other stuff. So that's why I'm on. So when I get that link, as I said, I'll throw it up on the community wall for you all. So if you want to take a peek in, maybe come in and say hello as well if you can. Obviously, it's not just being streamed. I don't know if it's just streamed on X, but if it's not just streamed on X and it's being streamed on YouTube, come in and say hello. Yeah, well, the Irish nationalists out there have been obviously they know that I follow Doctor Who and stuff, and they've been seeing all the stuff that's been actually going on X these last couple of weeks. A few of them have actually messaged me to ask me if I'm all right and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm grand. This happens every few years with this fella. You don't need to worry about it. But the people on the nationalist side have been asking me what the fuck has been going on with this fella. And I've just said, look, I'll handle it myself. Like, see, this is the thing, and I don't want to be really saying this, but I don't think the other fella realizes actually how much support I have out there. And last night decided to unblock me to start tagging me again. just to have a go. So I was brutal last night. So just in case you see any of me tweets up on his channel tonight, right? Yeah, I was brutal last night, and I'll continue to be brutal with him until he gets the message, right? The bottom line is you're not going to come at me again after you blocked me. Like, do you know what I mean? You either keep me blocked or you keep me unblocked, right? But the bottom line is, as I said to him last night, I'm going to keep repeating the same sentence. Doctor Who has not, as of yet, Series 3 has not been commissioned, and a Christmas special in 2025 has also not been commissioned and is not in the can. That is a fact. That comes from the Doctor Who showrunner himself. It's been backed up by the media. It's been backed up by insiders, and it's been backed up by the rumor and speculation that's been going around this fandom the last couple of months. And that's exactly what I'm going to keep repeating until you get it. And this is the thing that you're missing. And I just want to finish on this. This is the thing that you're missing, right? You're saying when you're proven right and all of this, you've been proven wrong, right? You were proven wrong when you said back in August, right, that your sources said that scripts were handed in, Series 3 was being commissioned, and a Christmas special was going to be out there as well for 2025. You also made the claim that you would be filming in February. It is now February, and we're in the 5th day of February, and there's still no sign of Doctor Who filming. So and this is the point that you're missing, even if Disney Plus do commission the show after Series 2 drops, let's just say, you still lied when you originally said that the show had already been commissioned. And that's the thing that you're not getting. So you keep saying to me that when I'm proven wrong and you're proven right. You already have been proven wrong. And that's the thing that you're not getting. You already said that all of this had happened. It's already in the bag, but RTD has told us otherwise. The media have told us otherwise. Insiders have told us otherwise. Fan speculation and rumor have told us otherwise. The only one that's shouting that the show is renewed is you. Even the showrunner himself has said it's not. So you know better than the showrunner. So even if the show is renewed and a Christmas special does happen in 2025 by some miracle, right? You're still wrong, because originally you said it was already all in the can. It was already signed, sealed, and delivered, right? So the thing about me trying to prove I'm right, I've never said either way whether I care Doctor Who gets canned. I'm talking about the fact that you've been coming out and slagging others off and picking on them for putting their stuff out, calling them liars, when in fact you're the liar and have been proven to be the liar. So last night when you went on this rant, when I'm proven right and all of this, talking about a autistic army that I'm raising and calling Lee all the disgusting names that you're calling Lee, right? It still doesn't change the fact that you lied from the very beginning and that you don't have sources. And we've established that you get your rumours on Gallifrey base now. So you've been exposed. You don't have any sources. You've never had any sources, right? And I said this from the very beginning when I first came on the scene. You don't have sources in the BBC, right? You don't, right? You're lying about that. You don't have direct sources in the BBC. You never have had, right? You got talking to some guy when you were filming Doctor Who years ago in New York, and you got talking to someone that was probably a grip or whatever on the fucking show, and you've used that ever since to prove that you have sources. You don't have sources. You've never had sources. End the fucking story. And that's not defaming you. And by the way, you keep saying you're going to sue. Go ahead. Right? Because when you sue me, this is what I'm going to say. He's accusing me of lying about a TV show, Doctor Who. He says he has sources. So if he wants to prove me wrong, he has to prove who his sources are. Right? And that's why you won't sue. because you don't have sources, but you already openly admitted anyway, right? When you slipped up on X, when you brought up Gallifrey base, right? Because I mentioned you got your rumours there, and then you let the cat slip out of the bag. Oh, Gallifrey base and all this, how you were going to buy it and all of this other shit, and then start sending me shit then to try connect Gallifrey base to the BBC or whatever it was, you pathetic little loser. So this is not about me being right. I don't really give a shit, right? If the show gets cancelled, no skin out my nose, right? I haven't said it's cancelled. What I've said is what everybody else has said, that the show is not commissioned, right? And when I have spoke about cancellation, I said speculating and giving my opinion that the best for the show would be for it to be cancelled. But then you go on and you go, oh, no, I can act like a 12-year-old as well. I can have your mentality as well. Right? If I stuck my face with fucking donuts and played PlayStation 24 fucking 7. So get it through your skull. Yeah? One last time. When you originally said all of these things had happened, you lied. Right? Because RTD has said you've lied. And I'm not saying RTD has come out and said Matrix Lord is lying because you'll get a big head there. No, he said when he did his little thing in Doctor Who magazine that season 3 hadn't been commissioned yet, and he said a Christmas 2025 special wasn't ordered. Right, so you know better than the showrunner because you have some invisible source that's told you that Doctor Who's there. And then you went on, oh, but RTD said this and Stephen Moffat said this. See, here's the thing, right? And this is why I have to support, and this is why everybody knows that you're a bullshit artist, right? Here's the whole nooks and crannies of the whole thing. If you are right, like you say you are, even though we do know you're wrong, but if you are right from the very beginning, you wouldn't need to have done all the things that you've done to try prove that you're right. The behavior, the calling out of people, abusing fucking people, dragging my wife into it, dragging me through it, right? All because I said to you. By the way, he put up a video yesterday. It's the funniest fucking thing ever, right? Of the script where I said, prove it, right? And he says, yeah, you started it. You started on me first. Because I asked him to prove his rumours after he bashed Dan's channel and others out there for putting out what he called fake rumours, right? That's what started all of this. All I said was 2 words to him. 2 fucking words, prove it, right? And I love how when you put the video up, you left out some of the fucking conversation, by the way. But it's all right. I did a video on X, you know, my video on it, responding to your stupidity, to be quite honest. And this is the thing. I'll continue to do it as long as you keep coming at me. I've left you alone. You've unblocked me to tag me to have a go at me again because I've been doing my own thing because you're getting lonely now. And the thing about it is, you need me, right? That's why you're doing it. You need me, right? You talk about me being a loser and all of this other stuff, and you're better than me. Listen, Joe, this isn't a game. I don't care if you were the better YouTuber, but I can guarantee you're fucking not, right? I still have my audience. You don't. Your audience is non-existent now, right? Everybody that you had coming on your channel over the years, any friends that you had are all gone. Mine are all still here, minus 1 or 2, because I know you'll bring that up. Well, you've lost some friends. Who cares? You lose friends along the journey. But the majority of them are still here. But that's what he tried to do last night. Came out calling me a loser and all of these names because he doesn't have an argument anymore. And he just keeps digging a bigger hole for himself every time, right? But the whole point of this is you originally lied. So it doesn't matter whether the show does get commissioned or not. And you won't be coming out with your video saying, I was right and Noel was wrong, because everybody knows that you are wrong. That's the thing. And I'm not trying to be right either. This is not about me being right. I'm just stating facts that RTD has put out there. I'm just stating what other people have put out there. And of course, the stuff that I received and I spoke about, I talked about that as well. And originally, everybody would back me up on this. I told everybody the sequence of events that was going to happen, right, in relation to the show being renewed, and it's going exactly the way I said it was going to go, just the way other people have said it too, right? But you know better than everybody else because you have a source in Gallifrey base. Because let's be honest, it's not on BBC. We've established that. So if you want to sue me, then I'll just say, right, okay, I'm going to counter sue. I want to know who his sources are because he's accused me of lying and putting out misinformation. But I know he's putting out misinformation, and I know for a fact you are. And we all know that because it's already been proven. So as I said to you the other day, and I can't believe I have to repeat this, you have to keep Lee out of your mouth. He's nothing got to do with this. He's not trolling you, right? All the other people that you've accused of trolling you and going to your channel, nobody's going to your channel. The only one that's focused on you is me, right? And you're having a go at Bobby as well and the other fella. So they're defending themselves against you, right? But that's who I'm focused on, you, right? Nobody else is focused on you. Everybody thinks you're a loser, right? That's the bottom line. I'll tell you out straight. See, this is the difference between me and other streamers. I'll tell you, everybody thinks you're a fucking loser, right? So nobody is bothering with a fucking loser. The only reason why I'm bothering with a fucking loser is because you decided to drag me wife into it again. You decided to attack me panelists, right? All because I said 2 words to you. Prove it. Prove it. Is that all it takes to trigger you? That's why I keep asking it. You're 12. You're 12. You're a 50-year-old man. Are you 12? You're certainly acting like one. Right? So get this shit out your head. There's a war. There ain't no war. Right? Okay? And the fact that you actually come up with that Whovian war show mentality. Right? Everything that you've said. Listen, and for any, and by the way, I just want to say one more thing. Bobby is in the chat there to back me up. To all the other people that seem to be sticking their nose in it, all of a sudden, I don't know if Joe has asked you to get involved or whatever, right? But I want to make it clear that this is between me and Joe, and the rest of you aren't helping when you come in and you are telling us to leave it. You don't know the full facts, right? You don't know the full facts, so keep your nose out of my business, right? You came after my wife, right? He came after Charlotte and he's bullied people in the fandom, okay? So he doesn't get the gaslight here, okay? He doesn't get to get off this time without any consequences because, as I said before, I buried the hatchet with this motherfucker too many times and then he's gone and done it again. So I'm not allowing this to continue anymore. So as long as he keeps fucking shit talking me, I'm going to keep on his back because he can already see he's losing it anyway. Because you know how I know he is? Because when I don't mention him, right? When I don't mention him on X and I don't talk about him and I do my own thing, he tags me, he unblocks me to tag me. So he wants the attention. So on one hand, he's telling all these subscribers that watch him, right, which is about 3 people, that I keep coming after him. No, it's the other way around you. Stop projecting. Everything that you describe in your videos about me, his subscribers should understand he's describing himself. It's all projection, right? He's the one that's trying to get other people involved and get them to attack me. He's the one that's getting personal, by the way, right? I'm calling him Donut Man. That's it, right? He's bringing me wife into it, right? And that's why I start calling him Donut Man, right? He thinks he could bring my wife into it, comment on my fucking marriage, which he's done, and say horrible things about Lee, right? And other people, thinks he's getting away with it. So as I told you, right? As I told you, this stops when you stop, right? This stops when you stop. But don't let it stop. Because I want this to go on all the way up until the announcement. Because when it's proven that you've already been proven a liar. But when it's actually properly confirmed and you've no way to fucking wiggle your way out of it, well, God help you, because I can guarantee you there'll be people in the fandom that'll be calling you out left, right, and fucking centre for what you've done. I won't be the only one. People are sick and tired of your nonsense now. You need to grow up, right? Now I'm going to end this stream now because I have a life, and I'm going to go out now for a few hours before my next stream. So I want to thank everybody that's watched. But look, he's picking on Bobby. Bobby is in the chat. Bobby will back me up on that, right? He's been picking on other people as well. So anybody still defending him, yeah? Anybody still defending him, you want to take a long, hard look in the mirror at yourselves, right? Because they're defending an absolute scumbag. Also, on top of that as well, right, you should hear the stuff that he's saying about people that I know, and the accusations that he's making. It's absolutely disgusting that he's gotten away with it for so long. And this is why I'm going to tell you all now. All you other people that are getting involved, you stay out of it. Right? You stay out of it. The people that he's bullied are dealing with it. Right? Okay? Even Dave travels through time. Right? So remember Dave who travels through time? Well, he's put up a video on his YouTube channel, right, explaining his past experiences with Joe. So here's the thing. This man can play the victim all he wants. As I said to him the other day, his victim card is revoked. He doesn't get to play the fucking victim, right? Because he has made plenty of victims. And this is one here that refuses to be a fucking victim of his. Okay, and this is why this is happening. So keep your noses out of it. It's nothing to do with just, it's between me, him, and whoever else he's fucking dealing with. As I said, this ends either when he stops or he ends up in a loony bin. And that's how fucking serious I am about it. So be under no illusion, right? As I said the other day, for people that are sticking their noses in, right? This doesn't end until he stops. And he owes everybody an apology. And I'm not relenting on that either. Right? He doesn't give an apology and he doesn't stop. Well, then I'm not going to stop. And I will get progressively worse on him, because right now I'm actually being tame. Even though he's gotten personal with me, brought me marriage into it, and brought me wife into it, I haven't gotten personal with him and haven't brought anybody that he loves up, right? But I could be an absolute horrible human being. So don't push me. This ends, and it will end. I'm done playing Mr. Nice Guy. I'm done doing what people ask me to do. Oh no, just for the sake of peace, just leave it. No, I'm not leaving it. Anyway, go and check out my songs. I put up some songs. Of course, you'll think they're all about him, but they're not. I did a little homage to what my version of a James Bond song would be like. So I put up a song that it has the 007 symbol on it as well, and that was deliberately put up as well because I didn't want the other fella to be thinking it was about him. So, because like he actually made the assumption that one of the fucking songs was about him when it was actually about the doctor. You know, and then that's when he started bringing up his remarriage and all, saying, "Oh, am I lonely? Do I need to talk about it?" You know what I mean? Like, that's how low this wanker is actually going, right? And he's wanted me to retaliate in a different way, like I've retaliated before. But because he's not getting under my skin, you see, that's why he keeps unblocking me and trying to tag me to try and get a reaction. But as I said, I'm just going to keep repeating the same thing. You are wrong, and RTD has confirmed that you're wrong. So leave it out. Anyway, with that said, Bobby, I hope you're all right. I hope you go today without being bullied. You know, it's a regular occurrence in the fandom now with that fella. You know, he talked about bullies and stuff. Yeah, he doesn't think that anything he does is wrong, right? And by the way, all I've ever done against him is retaliate or respond to him over the years, and then I'd have to leave it because people would say leave it for the sake of it, and I would. But this is the case in 2025. That's not happening, right? As Bobby said there, he doesn't like to be challenged, and that's the thing. And he needs to grow up. He needs to grow up. The bottom line is he's wrong. Just accept it. It doesn't matter. Nobody will give a shit whether you're wrong or not at this point. Well, they will now because of the behavior of you. But if you had it admitted from the very beginning, okay, I got it wrong, right? We wouldn't be here, right? All I said to you was prove it. You got smart with me. And then that started that whole conversation off. And I said, you know what? Because you're being an asshole and you've bullied people over the years, that's it. I'm not letting this go, right? All I had to say was 2 words to you, and you say I'm triggered. All I said was prove it. And look at your reaction since then. You really are a sad little man. I really do hope you get the help that you need, because you do need help, by the way. And I won't shy away from telling you that to your face, right? You need help, right? And if you got that help, I'm pretty sure that Joe would be a happy man again, because I don't see a happy man, right? And you can say whatever you want, right? I know I suffer through depression. I suffer through shit in my life, right? I could see it when I look at a person, right? Maybe you need a friend, maybe you need someone to talk to. I don't know. But taking out on people and behaving the way you're behaving, nah, that doesn't give you an excuse. No matter how much deep you're in something, doesn't give you an excuse to be an asshole. Sorry. And I know from experience, because when I was depressed, I did treat people like assholes, right? But I grew up, I matured, and you're still stuck in a rut, I think. Anyway, we're going to leave it there for now, guys. Thank you for joining in, taking part. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't already subscribed. Of course, when Matt does watch that movie, if he's interested, as I said, in doing either a live stream or a pre-record, it'll be up to himself. And I'll go with that, and we will get that movie out for you, because it is a good movie, I have to say, and it'd be nice to do a review of it, actually. And Matt will only watch it there. Solidarity with Bobby, yeah, exactly, Lee. And I'm glad you're here for the end of this, because you know exactly where I'm coming from. And I just have to make the point again, because some people have started to stick their nose in and say that I should leave it and stuff like this. And I've just made it clear why I can't this time. And I'm not, right? He's not going to continue to bash my friend in this chat, Lee, and say disgusting things about him. He's not going to bash Bobby either, right? And fucking fat shame him, right? He called you donut, man. I'm the one that's been calling you tubby. You have a fucking problem, come to me, right? And then he's picking on other people as well. And we all seen who he was picking on before that as well, right? So he has previous, and this goes on every fucking Doctor Who cycle or new era, right? And someone has to nip it in the fucking bud, right? The problem is he's gotten away with it for so long that he thinks that he's fucking invincible. And now he's going to get pushed back for a change, right? And if he doesn't like it and it makes him feel uncomfortable, good, fucking good. For the shit that he said about Lee alone, right? For the shit he said about Lee alone, right? I can't even say what I want to say, right? But all I'm just going to fucking say, he's crossed the line, right? And then he brings up my marriage and my wife, so crosses the line again. And people are telling me, oh, leave him alone. You two need to stop. No. Let him attack your wife and your friends and see will you all have the same fucking attitude, right? Because I can guarantee you just wouldn't have the same attitude if someone is constantly trying to bring up your wife to get a reaction out of you, bringing on people on their channel who fucking abused my wife on social media, right? And having a laugh and a joke with these people. This is the shit that I've let go over the years. And people are telling me, leave him. He's clearly off his head. So what if he's off his head? It doesn't excuse his behavior. With the shit that he's saying, he can ruin people's lives, right? That's the bottom fucking line, right? He's a dangerous man. Exactly, man. He's the one that's gotten, like, he goes personal, right? I've made comments on his teeth, and I've made comments on him being tubby, whatever, right? But that's personal to him. I'm not going to go and attack, say, his missus like the way he's done with mine, right? I know there's a line to be fucking drawn, and I don't fucking cross that line. But there will come a time when lines have to be crossed. And that goes in any life. Same with politics as well, right? Yeah, even look, I have the support. I don't need to worry. Look, I back off, right? I don't respond to everything that he throws out there, right? I don't, okay? But I respond to the most heinous ones, right? And I think I have every right to do that. I don't care if he calls me a loser, to be quite honest with you. I don't care if he thinks he's a bigger YouTuber than me, right? Don't mind any of that shit. I don't care what he throws at me in that regard. When he brings up my marriage, brings up my wife, and then makes stupid accusations and horrible accusations against my friend Lee, who has been with me from the very beginning, had my back from the very beginning, and has been a loyal friend, right? And even was there defended me against over 1,000 people on an account that was set up by a man that had a personal vendetta against me. Lee was there from the beginning. He was the one that had my back every fucking time these assholes were fucking attacking me. And now he's picking on him because he knows Lee means the world to me. And I won't lie, Lee does mean the world to me. Right? He's done a lot for me. Right? All these channel intros. It's not just all of that. It's the friendship and the times we've shared on this fucking channel and behind the scenes having a laugh and all of that. All the stuff we've been through these last 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it is. I keep forgetting how long it is, but it's long. But the thing about it is, in this situation, I'm not losing control when Joe is doing all of this. Whereas years ago, Lee would tell you, I would have lost control and absolutely flipped. But I've matured. I know when to go for him, basically. When he says something really heinous and personal, that's the shit I highlight. As I said, I don't care if he thinks he's a better YouTuber than me. It's not a competition anyway, right? But if it was right now, I would have to say, I think people would agree with me, my channel's doing better than yours, so shut up, right? And he tried to flex me the other day with his YouTube channel and stuff, and then I put up the other two channels as well as the Tarzan one. One has nearly 10,000 subscribers. Like, don't come at me with that flex. That's not going to work. Like, you talk about your 1.5 million views or something. On my 10,000 channel, I got 1.5 million in one video. So be quiet. Politics is a very hot topic right now. So the videos do well. Right? I have a short that has over 335,000 people that have watched it. Right? If you want to do flexes, I can measure dicks as well. Like, we can all do that. But that's childlike behavior, and that's what you do. But again, that's the stuff that doesn't bother me. I don't care. As I said, you want to live in your bubble and think that you're the greatest lord in the world, that's fine. But you're wrong about Doctor Who. And you're wrong about what you're doing to people. And you're going to be held to account for it. Simple as that. Thanks, Lee. You know I always have your back. And I will always have your back. Even though you're not on social media. And again, this whole thing that you've had fake accounts and all of this bullshit that he comes out with. I know you're not on social media. I mean, we might talk the odd time on Instagram or whatever, or you pop in here. But other than that, you're not on X. You're hardly on YouTube as far as I know. And your thing is not to set up fake accounts. You've never done that. All you've ever done is, and you'll back me up on this, if your account got suspended, which you'd end up appealing and winning, but you'd set up another account while you were waiting on that account to be unsuspended, but it'd be under the problem being you wouldn't put under a different name and try to troll people. That's the thing that doesn't make sense here. It's not in your behavior to do that. So why he would think that you're doing that is baffling to me. Because you're like me, Lee, and I think we need to make this clear. We've got to say to Joe, we don't need to hide behind anonymous accounts. We'll just say it to your fucking face. That's the thing. And that's why I know Lee is not doing it. Because he actually sent me a message to say, you better go and talk to Lee. Blah, 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 blah. I said, I don't need to talk to Lee. I know Lee is not doing it. Nobody's trolling you, by the way. So don't know where you're getting that from, right? Did it ever occur to you that maybe people on your channel that do watch it see that you do get involved in a bit of drama and maybe add to the situation by trolling you themselves? Or you could be doing it yourself. I wouldn't put it past you at this stage myself. But did it ever occur to you that maybe your own subscribers are trying to get a rise out of you? Because I know for a fact that none of the people in here would waste our energy on you. And that's just the truth. I know that's hurtful. But as I said, everybody thinks you're a fucking loser. So why anybody would waste their time on a loser? And I'm just telling you what people think you are. So why would they waste their time on you? Lee doesn't do that. Lee, when he was up against Tom Vance, when Tom Vance and Lee stood up to him front and fucking centre. No troll accounts. This cunt had troll accounts left, right, and centre. The Tom Vance fella. Right? I had the same account. Right? Never troll accounts. We always face people with our heads held high because we've nothing to be ashamed of. We haven't done that wrong. That's what I mean. Joe doesn't realise. We don't think about him until he starts bringing us up, right? And then he says disgusting things, and he expects that we're not going to respond. If someone makes serious accusations about you or makes personal comments about your marriage, right? I don't know what world you live on, Joe, where you think nobody can retaliate. But I know on this planet, if someone talks smack about my wife, I mean, I'll just say this. You're lucky I'm not actually living in America and I am living in Ireland, and I'll leave it at that. And you can take that up any way you fucking want, right? But the bottom line is, if I've had to say to you, right, or if I want that done, I'm doing it myself. I don't need other people. You need other people. You've dragged in, see, this is why you drag in all of these other people. You need other people to try fight your battles. So when you try to get all my friends to turn against me, that doesn't work. You desperately then try to get Mr. Tardis and other people involved. And they didn't bite either. See, that's the thing. You call me a coward, yet you've blocked me again for the third time, by the way. And the weird thing is that you'll unblock me to tag me to get me attention. Then you'll talk shit about me, and then you'll block me again. Right, so none of the shit that you've done has worked. So just leave it out, right? The bottom line is, as I said, at this stage now, right, it doesn't matter what you think and what you believe, right? Your behavior has been absolutely disgusting. Now, I'd like to think that you are a grown-ass man and you realise the error of your ways and you apologise publicly, but that's never going to happen with you, and I know that. I'm not deluded like you, I actually know that. Because you're in a rut. You'll never admit that you've done any wrong. And that's the thing. I think when you grew up, right, you could do no wrong to people, even when you did do wrong. And you were never called out for being wrong. So when you're growing up as an adult, you behave the same way. That's why you have the childlike mentality that you have. Talking about wars and autistic armies and all of this other shit. The do you know what? I have to say, Joe, you gave me the biggest laugh that I've had this year when you actually said autistic army. I can't believe that actually was in your brain and came out of your mouth. Like, how did that get in your brain and then come out of your mouth and make sense to you? I'm not raising an army against you, right, Joe? Because I don't need an army. Because I've already proven that me alone calling your bullshit out is enough for you to block me. So why would I see this is where your logic goes? Why would I need people to attack you when I already do a good job of calling you out and you block me? Why would I need other people to do me dirty work when I can do it myself and I make you run like a coward every time? See, this is what happens. All the stuff that you say in your videos never makes any sense. If people watch a few of your videos, they say, well, you say one thing in one video, so 1 minute I'm a dictator, the fandom, then the next minute I'm a loser. You can't even make up your mind in that regard either. Like 1 minute I'm this horrible, person that's trying to lead a revolution in the Doctor Who fandom, and then in another video I'm a loser. I mean, you can't even make up your mind which one I am. And this is what I mean. Right now, when people watch you, they're just listening to they're saying, what is he saying? You're not even making sense anymore, mate. Look, this is the thing. You say he's turning but that's the thing. Look, he'll blame me for that, right? He'll blame me for that. Maybe I was the catalyst by saying prove it, and then he went into this rant. Maybe I am the catalyst, but do you know what? If the result of this is that he's going to learn that he can't behave like that anymore and get personal anymore, and he's forced to either apologize or go away for a while, then so be it. So be it. And that's why people say, I said to me, no, you have air support, because they know what he's all about. He's done this for years and he's not getting away with it. And remember, we keep forgetting as well, he was on YouTube before we ever all came along, and he talks about the Whovian War. And it does look like that him and his toxic mates at the time attacked other fans back in the day, all way before we came in to the fandom, right? And start talking online about Doctor Who, right? So he's done this before and he's actually admitted, because he put up this poster of the Whovian War. So him and his friends actually were toxic towards other fans and they called it this war. But the result of that is that all these people have all gone their separate ways, right? And you will see that none of them really interact with each other anymore. So he's had previous, as I said. So anybody trying to justify or trying to make sense of this situation and say, well, Noel should leave him alone and leave it out. No. As I said, this stops when he stops, and he stops completely, and he publicly apologizes, which I know he's not going to do. And he's going to keep bashing me anyway. I don't mind about the loser stuff, but he's going to keep bringing up my marriage, and he's going to keep bringing up stuff about Lee. He's going to keep bringing up stuff about Bobby. And as long as he keeps doing that, well, then I'm going to keep going. So for all you people that are interfering, right, if you want this to stop, right, and you're getting sick and tired of it, like some of you have said, that's fine, right? Go and talk to him. If he stops, I stop, right? But don't be looking at him as a victim, because he ain't no victim here, right? He ain't no victim. His victim card is being revoked, okay? He doesn't get to play the victim here after all he's done in this fandom over the years, right? This ends in 2025, right? The era of Matrix Lord bullying people in this fandom ends in 2025. Mark my fucking words. Now, it doesn't matter. I know you won't get an apology, right? But that's why I'm saying, for me to stop, he has to. So I know he's not going to give it, so I'm not stopping. That's the point I'm trying to make. This man doesn't really. He's crossed the line anyway. He's crossed it too many times. This can't stop. This can't stop. He has to be held to account, and he's going to keep being held to account. End of story, right? Bring my marriage, my wife into it. That's fine. Bring them into it. I'll be cool and calm and collective while I'm absolutely destroying you, and that's what I've done so far. You won't get me having a meltdown, mate. Right? But you've had plenty, and you'll have plenty more if you keep it up. Yeah, well, we're gonna have to start looking into that if he continues his slander. There has to be something that can be done about that legally. Because I agree with you. Yeah, he said me. Yeah, he did. He started banging on about you first before I even said prove the. You are right about that, Lee. Actually, and I said Lee nothing to do with it. I says I don't know what you get. You go and talk. I'm not. I said I don't need to talk to Lee. I says I know Lee's not doing it. I don't listen. Nobody can come to me and say you need to have a word with Lee or question Lee. I'm never gonna have to. I never need to question you because I know you inside out. I know what personality you are. I know what kind of person you are. I know what kind of man you are, and I know that's not in your nature to be going trolling people. So I didn't even need to fucking, didn't even need to second guess me reply to him either. I'm not going to talk to him. I don't need to talk to him. Right? I know you, man. You've been with me side by side, man. We've been through a lot together in this fandom. Right? We've had to take some shit in this fandom as well because of our opinions on a fucking female doctor, like. Okay, we've been through the ring. I know exactly what you're capable of and what you're not capable of. Right? And I know you're not capable of fucking setting up troll accounts because you do it with your fucking chest out. You show your face. You have no issue with that. I mean, for fuck's sake, he took on all the anti-Semites on fucking X. He did until they managed to get him fucking taken down. This fella doesn't hide behind, and I can fucking say that 100%. He doesn't hide behind troll accounts, so he's not trolling you. Anyway, I am going to go this time because we're over the 2 hour mark. Uh, and this little trial that I've got with StreamYard now goes soon. So we'll be back down to the 5 hours altogether. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Anyway, doesn't matter. We'll deal with it anyway. I can do, as you're saying, I've been doing little videos on my phone as well. Oh, yeah, and I've been throwing up little pictures, obviously, of the doctors asking you what your favourite story is. I've also put up a picture of Hartnell and the first TARDIS team. So if you want to give your opinions on the first TARDIS team, take part in them. And of course, the people that are watching the songs or listening to the songs, I want to thank you as well, and all the other bits and pieces that I've been doing on the channel. Your support has meant the world to me, especially these last few weeks. You have always been behind me anyway. He keeps actually talking about you, me audience, about how I've lied to you all. But as I keep saying, if I lied to the people that watch me, none of them would be still here watching me. They know exactly what I said about Jodie Whittaker. They know exactly what I've said about me source information. And by the way, just one more thing: the difference between me and you is when I first started off, yes, when I was getting rumors, I was treating it as if it was fact. But I learned very quickly, as you do when you're doing this sort of thing, that everything that you get is in fact, and you have to say it's rumor and speculation. And that's exactly what I've done throughout my time on YouTube. But you seem to think that everything I talk about, I'm saying is fact. So again, don't be throwing that shit at me because my audience wouldn't be still here if they thought I lied to them at any time during my run on here on YouTube. So again, projection because all you've done is lie. He said to me last night, just to finish off, that I don't lie. He actually wrote that up on a tweet. I don't lie. And I says to him, you lied about Jodie and Chris, right? So that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a man that's in denial. He did lie about Jodie and Chris as well. He said Jodie was here for series 13, 14, and 15. Right? Didn't happen. He said Chris Chibnall was here. He was contracted to be here. And if Jodie was gone, then Chris was staying. Then he changed his mind. Then Chris and Jodie are staying. Right? But he was wrong there. So you say you don't lie. You did lie. And you keep bringing up the fact that I said every year that she was leaving. Listen, everybody knows what I said there in relation to Chaos in Cardiff. I did actually say in a follow-up stream as well, which you didn't watch. But clearly you haven't been watching me streams. Because I did follow up and say they had a meeting. They sorted out all their issues. But Chris Chibnall did walk and Jodie Whittaker was in tatters. Right? And I did say then after that that the relationship between Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall was somewhat strained, right? And there was talks of Jodie Whittaker leaving after the second series, right? Okay, so again, I've explained all of this to me subscribers, and that's why they're still here, right? They know what I've said. They know what information I've got absolutely spot on. Even when the media report and stuff that I spoke about, I get people sending me articles. No, you're right again. There's the article. They've confirmed what you said, right? That's why I still have an audience. And the point that you're missing anyway, and you always have missed in the fandom, is that anybody that puts out rumor and speculation and say it's rumor speculation, you treat as if people are saying it's fact. And then you go on your channel and you bash people saying that you're saying that they're saying it's fact, which is not the case. Everybody says rumor, speculation, or it's from source. Nobody ever says it's fact, but you take it up as fact and then you go and bash people. And that's why when you bashed Dan that time for doing his stream, and then I turned around and said to you, prove it. When you said bad Whovians were putting out were putting out false information. And I said to you, and because you had put up a whole tweet saying season 3 was in the can, the Christmas special, Doctor Who was all right, it's going to continue on Disney Plus. And all I said to you was prove it. And the rest is history. Anyway, goodbye. Have a good one. Enjoy these are the rest of these are evening. And as I said, I will put in the community post. I am doing the stream with an Irish nationalist tonight. Apparently, we're going to be talking about woke ideology and the industry, the TV, movie industry as well, and maybe a little bit of politics. Maybe little bit of politics. Now, I don't know if it's just live streaming on X. Obviously, if you don't have X, it might be difficult for you to watch it. But if he's also on YouTube as well, which I think he might stream on both apps. If he does, I'll put the link up for you anyway in the community post. And if you want to come in later on and say hello and stuff, you're more than welcome to do so. I would like to see some of you there if you just want to come in. You know, it's always nice when you do different stuff with people and people that you know pop in. It does give you a little bit of a boost. So if you're interested, do that. I love how he accuses of saying everything in fact, but it then goes absolute plain. Yeah, I know, mate. You know what? It's been years of this now, and you think everybody else in the fandom has grown up, and the one that stayed and stagnated is him. It's funny. Anyway, I will put that there's a new Instagram post on Doctor Who in relation to what I'm not gonna. Oh man, let me see. I do have Instagram. Well, I'll see if I still have fucking Instagram. I probably don't after I called RTD a fuckface to his face. And I don't care like if that comes across as toxic. He's not going to keep ruining Doctor Who and telling fans to fuck off and not get it back. Anyway, let's see what Doctor Who has put up. It's probably something stupid. Of course, we know if it's at in relation to Doctor Who, you know who will jump on it. Oh, you're lying again. How do you search on this stupid fucking app? See, I'm not following Doctor Who anymore on Instagram, I don't think. Ooh, I've got notifications. Ooh. Someone's got to tell me because I hold on. Doctor Who. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's BBC Doctor Who. Okay. It's still calling the BBC Doctor Who, are we? Okay. BBC Doctor Who. Here we go. Instagram. What have we got? Posts. I don't see anything new on Instagram. What am I missing? Is it a reel? Hold on. This reel is pinned. Is this it? I don't know what it is. There doesn't seem to be anything new on the Instagram account there from what I can see. Click what post? The last post that I see up there was 5 weeks ago. It's got him and the new companion in the photo, and then in the reels, then it has a video of Shooty, but I can't play the video because if I play the video, then I'm gonna get striked on the channel. So if you could tell us what the actual post is about, instead of me going in to have a look because I can't find it. So what's it in relation to? Oh, so there's a new picture for season 2. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, it's probably on the Doctor Who. Well, if it's on the Instagram, it's probably on the Twitter as well, or X, whatever you want to call it. So let's have a look. I don't really care, to be quite honest with you, because season 2 is going to be more of the same shit anyway. So I mean, there's not going to be an improvement. So let's see. No, it's not even on Instagram. That's not even on X. The last time they posted on X was 22 hours ago. See what I mean? Nobody cares. Anyway, I don't actually care. Season 2 is going to be a write off anyway because it's written by RTD, and if you go by what he's written so far, it's not going to be an improvement. So, as I said earlier at the very start of this stream, why would Disney throw money at it? That's why it's better off waiting on the decision. And again, that whole thing backs up everything that we said anyway and what RTD has said. So it doesn't matter what anybody else is saying out there. Do you know what I mean? So we'll just wait and see. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, also, my number one fan wants me to do Joy to the World, wants me to do it, and keeps telling me to hurry up to do it. I'll do it when I'm ready, but yeah, I will. I'll let you know when I do that. My number one fan, don't worry. I am not looking forward to it, but we have to do it because the next episode. So we will do it, but I'll do it when I'm ready. Yeah. Anyway, have a good one, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day, afternoon. No, well, it's coming into the evening now, afternoon, whatever it is. So I get confused. Well, enjoy it anyway. And I'll talk to you very soon for the next one. And look out for more songs and stuff like that. And if there's any other little snippet videos that I need to do, if any more news comes up with Doctor Who, we'll try find that photograph or whatever and throw it up for anybody that is interested. But by looking at your reaction in the chat, I can see that nobody really gives a fuck. So yeah, talk to you soon. Have a good one, folks, and I'll leave you with these trailers and give him a big up in the chat because, as I said, it's not just the stuff that he's done on the channel, his friendship as well. But these are his trailers that he created for me, and they're absolutely fun. And you know what? The first time I played them again, it was fucking brilliant. So I'll leave you with the trailers. This has been the TARDIS Zone. This has been the TARDIS Zone Talks, and I'll talk to you for the next one.